Hello and welcome to another episode of GKJ Fishing. I'm back where I lost that fish the other day because I want to catch one and I want to know what it is. Conditions are totally different. It's a smaller, much more neat tide. Conditions are flat calm, so I'm not going to be able to get out to the channel as far because the tide's not going out as much. But there's no breakers and it's pretty calm, so I can wade out further without getting absolutely soaked. So maybe I might be hitting the same sort of distances because the sea's calm. It will let me walk out further. I'm going to show you the baits and stuff now. I couldn't get no crab, tried everywhere, and I'm too lazy to pick my own. But I've got squid, and squid on this coast is equally as good as crab, if not better. But it is always nice to have some crab. And I've just picked up a pack of fresh black lug. Last time I fished black lug on here, I think I had about 8 bass in about an hour. I'm here with the fluffy girl and me daughter. So if I'm out there wading out and something goes, she's going to have to hit the rod, aren't you? She's going to get it. It'll probably be a big 10-pound bass, but let's go have a look what's going on here. On the left rod, I'm going to be fishing squid bait, and it's on a clip-on swivel, so I'll clip that off, and then I can take that swivel off, and then I've got a new snood there with just a swivel on to clip back on. That's coming down to an imp and a 7-ounce gripper. Now, a few people have said, show us what you're doing, show us how you're putting it on. Well, I put one hook on for my squid, because there's a chance of catching doggies, and if you're catching doggies, you want one hook on, you don't want 2 hooks on, it can get messy. And where the eye of the hook is, that's where I concentrate most of my raft, because it stops the hook from twisting. I'm fishing Pen Prevails. Yes, they're old school now, they're about 5 or 6 years old, but I've had them for that, well, they're all I've used, they do me good. On 2 surf blasters with 52-pound braid, good quality braid. On the right rod, got one of these lugworm, nice lugworm. Again, coming up to the same sort of thing. I can clip them on and off quickly should it kick off on the pulley bead thing. And again, another 7-ounce gripper. And I'll show you how these imps work now, because a few people have been saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I'm going to show you. Even though I'm fairly new to it myself, I'm going to show you. So let's have a look. So this is the rig. It's a pulley pennel. You've all been asking me to show you. When you get a fish on, the lead slides up so the lead doesn't bounce over the rocks or over the sand. And there is a few rocks and bumps out here, so it's the perfect rig for this beach. I'll tie the snood probably about 3 or 4 inch shorter than the main body. What that does then is it allows me to pull it down, to click onto the imp, and there you go, you've got your perfect presentation bait. And when it hits the water pressure comes from there, ping, and kicks your bait out. It gives you a lot more casting distance. And as I say, I'm fairly new to using this type of stuff, so I'm not claiming to be no expert, but it's just a simple imp, hits the water, bang, and it's out. And then you're fishing. Your gripper will be gripped in like that, your bait will be flapping, and hopefully a big fish will come along, smash that, bang. So I'm going to get both of these clipped up now, like that. Leave them hanging off the end of the rod. And yeah, they're clipped up, ready to rock and roll. Going to get them in, and you don't need to be wading out and casting, do you? I might show you in a bit. I've got a feeling there's going to be loads of fish. I said that in the last video when it looked perfect. We struggled, but hopefully there's no weed here today. The weed was the big issue last time. I can't see a single bit of weed. So I'm hoping when these rods go out into the middle of the ocean, into the middle of the Pacific plate, I'm joking, I don't even know what it is. Don't even know what sea it is. North Sea. There you go. I think. And yeah, hopefully something will come along, so I'm going to start ribbiting and rabbiting on. I'm going to get these rods out. I'm going to bait up a couple of spare snoods. I'm going to sit back and just enjoy. The best thing about these little tides is you're not racing up and down, so I can fish 2 rods comfortably now. Even if one goes while I'm out, my daughter can grab it or I can set the clutch. They're not going to get wiped out, he says. Anyway, let's get the rods out. Come on, subscribe. So the left rod's in, fishing at a real good distance. I managed to wade out just to the top of the wader as well, just to here, look. And send it probably about another 100 yards, so I'm out in the mix, which is good. My daughter's going to wait by the rod while I cast this worm bait out, the right one, just in case it goes. And I can sit by them and hopefully get some fish. It's about an hour till low water now, 45 minutes to an hour, so I'm not expecting too much slick turns, but you just don't know here. It could happen at any time. Nice easy fishing this today, nice good conditions, a nice small tide. Hopefully there'll be some fish, a lot less stressful than the last one. And that's that then. If I get a bite on the squid, I'll put both baits on squid. If I get a bite on the worm, I'll put both baits on worm. Well then, they've been in 20 minutes. Time to do the first check. I've been seeing little taps, so I'm guessing I could well be crabbed. Let's get the baits in and I'll show you. But yeah, I'm really thinking I could have been crabbed out here. That's what I'm thinking if you want the truth. The tide's hardly moved. It's only moved a couple of metres from the rod in the last 20 minutes. You do need a bit of a bigger tide here, but you know, in the last video I was moaning it was too big and too powerful. Now I'm moaning it's too small. Then I was moaning I don't need crab, I need squid. Now I'm moaning I want crab. Just trying to get the excuses in, you know. Trying to get the excuses in. But yeah, I'm going to check them now. It's been 20 minutes. Getting back on the Menai tomorrow. I've not fished the Menai for a long time. Back on the Menai Straits, the mighty Menai Straits. Looking forward to that. Right, let's have a look at these baits. I'll show you what's going on. 20 minutes in, no action. Look at all them birds going past. They're them long-beaked things. What did I call them? Curlews? Oyster pickers? Winkle pickers? I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on them. Right, this is what I mean when I'm going to do a bigger bait when the worms are coming along. Put one worm on the needle, that's the head. Now when I wrap the other one to it, you sort of want to put the head to the tail. Because the tail part of a worm is crap, it breaks. But if you put an head to a tail, then you got a bit of strength on both ends. There's loads of seagulls coming over now. Oh, they're all down on that beach over there. Am I in the wrong place? Am I in the wrong place? So what I'm going to do is wrap the other worm to that one, as I say, head to head. No, head to tail, tail to head. 2 seconds, matey. They've just said they've got a peeler, so the next cast is going to be a big worm bait and a big peeler. What I'm going to do is just wrap it up like that. And this worm then will be almost impossible to come off on the cast. And if the crabs are having a peck, it's at least going to stay there a bit longer. It's just going to be a big bait. I've got to use these worms up anyway, so I'm fishing on the Menai tomorrow. It's fishy baits and crab baits. There's going to be no worms going out for me tomorrow on the Menai. Get rid of that little bit of worm. Feeling like a big jet or something going past. I think them kiddies have got me a big peeler. That would be nice. Let's get this in time, just ready for the flood now, this bait. Slowly feed it off. And what you got there is a big black lug bait. Look at that. And it's not going to break. That is just like perfect. Big hound, big bass. It's going to be blowing in there. Oh, I might make a couple of them up. Lovely bait. Absolutely lovely bait. Look at the juices ready to come out of that. Probably going to cast it straight into a crab and it's just going to smash it, but that on a pulley pennel blowing in that, well, there ain't really a surf, but dangling around and wobbling, something's going to come along and go. Mark my words, that's the bait. The kiddies have just found about 10 lovely crab about that big, so I'm like, right, there's got to be 1 or 2 peelers in them. Just checked everyone, not a single peeler. Absolutely gutted. What it is, what it is. It is what it is. Not a single peeler. Well, I checked them baits. The squid on the left was pretty much untouched. The worm, however, was completely gone. Completely and utterly gone. Fish slayers here, little Benny. Caden's just come down. He's looking for crabs with my daughter. So if they can find a big juicy peeler, one's going on. I think I'm going to bait elastic, a couple of lug worms together to keep it on the hook a bit better and send it a bit further. I don't know. When you just hook worms on like that, they'll stay onto the cast, but as soon as like something pecks at it or a little fish or a crab, now just chop the worm in half, pull it off. It's worms just come off easy, don't they? Unless you wrap them up a bit. Don't like wrapping them up, to be fair. I like to leave them as natural as possible, but in this situation, the next one's going to be wrapped up. It's going to be coming up to the turn soon, but this is what happens here. I've got to keep calm. I know the beach. I know what happens. It is a small tide, there's not much tide flow, but I still think it's going to produce something. It normally does on the flood. It normally does. Just keep on plodding, keep on chasing them fish, eh? Keep on plodding. Yeah, I think the crabs are having the worm. I can see, like, you won't see them from out. There's tiny little fast taps, which is telltale sign of a crab or little blennies or something, just peck, 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 pecking. Ah! We'll get something. We will get something. You found any peelers yet? Hopefully I can find the biggest, juiciest peeler in North Wales. I can hear some shouts like, "Oh, we found something." Nice if it was a big peeler, wouldn't it? Well, as you can see, I've been pushed back now. Look at that for a big snake. Oh, yes. Bit of weed in my clip. That's the last thing you want in it, jamming it. That is a snake, that is. That is good. Ah! That's how you get rid of a bumblebee, not the thing. Brilliant. By the way, I don't hurt bees, but that was in my private space. I felt threatened. It was self-defense. You had to get the old nut. Yeah, look at that. Been pushed back up to this rocky bit now, but if you remember in the other videos, this is when it tends to get better. But in all honesty, it's just barren out there. No surf, no tide pull, little tide, no bites. The baits were stripped then from the crabs. I'm gonna have these 2 casts, give them 20 minutes, have another 2 casts. It's perfect though. It's nice, easy fishing, but there don't seem to be anything there. But that is an absolute snake, isn't it? Something's got to have that, innit? We're going to send this one out, set the drag, and I'll come back and get another big squid out. Just keep plodding on. So that big worm is out, and I've just noticed on my squid bait, when I brought it in last time, there's a shrimp look alive, a little prawn, shrimp, whatever you want to call them. Oh, here he is. What has he got? Look. He's alive as well. Well, he was alive, so I dropped him. So that means there's a good food source out there, doesn't it? If there's loads of them out there, drop him in that little rock ball. Yeah, he's off. Like, shooting across. If there's loads of them out there, the hounds, the bass, everything will smash them, wouldn't they? Seen plenty of fish caught on them. So that's good. Wouldn't have thought that'd have been there. It's a pretty, like, featureless beach. I wouldn't have thought that'd have been out there, like, just on the sand bed. I thought there might have been by some rocks or some kelp or some type of feature. But as far as I'm aware, there's no feature out there. Apart from a couple of gullies and that. My box. Yeah, so not too sure what to say about that. Really don't know. Unsure. I'll get this squid on. I think I've showed you how I put my squid on already, and there's nothing worse than bait elastic, is there? I always like to try and make sure every bit of it goes in my little box as well. I don't like leaving it. Right, so that big worm's out there. What I do with my baits, can you see me? Through the body of the squid, I like to go up through the eye, like so. I've got the clutch set on that rod, should it go. So then you've got your squid, like that. So I prefer single hooks, I don't slide. Then start your knicker elastic off. Position your hook. And where the eye of the hook is, just absolutely lever it on around there. The more you can get around the eye, the better, because that is what stops it slipping and twisting. You've got like a flat bit of the eye, like a flat little pad, just stops it twisting. And then with the head, sometimes the head can come off on the cast, so I like to get a couple of wraps around the head and the tentacles, but trying to make it still look like a squid, not like absolutely levering it on so you can't see it. Just like that, and that gets the head right. You've got the hook in place, and then all the way up again, right up to the top. Almost don't want to go and cast this out, because if that rod goes, I'm going to miss it. But I want this bait in, because it's slow fishing. I want a squid and a big worm out there, but I have got the clutch set. So worst case scenario, if something hits it, it's just going to peel a bit of line off. And as I say, round the knot and the line and the hook eye, what that does, it stops anything turning. Look, you can pick your squid up sideways, it will not turn. So that bait is always presented. If something comes along and grabs it, bang, you've got it. Well, that's the plan. There's a bit of weed coming through now as well. A bit of weed. Not what we need. It might be what we need, actually. It might bring some fish in with it. I'm going to get my clip. Put me squid in my clip. Like so. We're going to go and launch this. Can you keep your eye on that rod while I do this? That's a nice little streamline. A streamline little squid bait. It's going to hit the water, plop away from the clip, and hopefully end up in the mouth of a 16-pound smooth hound. Right, can you keep your eye on that? If it goes, shout, mate. Fish slayer's coming. I thought I had a bite then. Could have been me, knocked it with that or something. What I would hate to see now is be out 50 yards into the sea, up to my waist, and just see that line zimmer past me like zoom. It's a gamble though, isn't it? I'd love to stay with it, but I want this rod out there, so all you can do is set the clutch. I know something has it when you get back, not when you're not here. Come on, fish slayer, let's do it. Tell you what, clipping your baits down on them clips don't half make a difference to your distance. Just a gentle lob and it just sails for the air, like phew. And we have 2 good baits in the water. What else can we do? Clutch is set in case a biggie comes. What else can we do? Good baits, good presentation, at distance. Everything's right. No fish. Well, well, well. Nothing. We're going to rebait and go again. Let's have a look what's going on with this big worm. It's been in about 20 minutes. I'll get another cast here, maybe another 2. Sarah and the little ones have just gone to the chip eat. So there's going to be chips up there on the beach in about 20-25 minutes time. So get another good cast in, new rebait, and see if I can get something to happen. But it's just been nothing. Small tide, not a lot of tide rod and not a lot of fish. That's how it is, isn't it? That's the bottom line of it. What's going on here? There's none of that worm left. There's something down there stripping the worms. Probably should be changing every 10 minutes, to be honest, but wading out's hard work. I'd rather... It's going to make me sound bad. I'd rather just leave it 20 minutes and chance it. But yeah, that is not the worm. That is a big piece of crap. That's what that is. That worm was bite-elastic on, and I've completely and utterly stripped it. The squid seems to be staying on longer, so might... No, I'm not going to put squid on both. Squid fish is better. Right, let's get this worm. Got another big fat worm here. Another big... Whoa, sinking! That is a big stinky bait. It's a proper big stinky bait. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. You just never know, dear. Look at that for a bait. Oh, big hook point at the bottom. Nice. Probably a bit big, to be honest, but I've got some worms I need to use up. They're not going back in the fridge. What doesn't get used here today is going back in the sea. There we have it, look. Can't think what I could do better. Just can't help but think that there's nothing there on this little tide. That's all I'm thinking. I'll get this one out, check that squid, go again, keep doing the same old, same old. Fish and chips will be about, well, I don't eat fish. Sausage and chips or burger and chips and something for me will be about 20 minutes away. See if we can get one. Better have a look at that squid bait then, aren't we? See what's occurring on there. Something's stripping me every time. Little rascals. Little rascals. If you like this type of stuff, people, do please give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It's all free. And it all helps. That's a nice bend in the rod. Right, we've got to reel this squid in about 7 mile now. See what's going on with the squid. Yeah, I'm being absolutely stripped. There's a bit of weed about. That's what's left of a squid. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just a bit of bait cotton. Right, new squid out, go again. I really haven't got long here now. Come on! There's no confidence, there's not been a bite, there's not a surf, there's... I think. Get rid of all this clunge. Slime and clunge and all sorts. Well, what else can I do? This is going to be the last casts. Just see what happens. It's been an enjoyable afternoon, but there's not been a single bite. Yet, I'll say yet. It's just the way it is, isn't it? Fishing's a bit like life, isn't it? Sometimes you can, you know, it's going good like all last week. Loads of rays, loads of hounds, loads of fish. Bass, huss, everything. And you just have a bad day, but it ain't even a bad day, is it? It's just you know, it's been exactly the same as enjoyable, just without the fish. And it is that bit of a cliche, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you're catching or not, it's all about being out. Of course it is. That's the main thing. Fish is a bonus. That's what we want, but you can just come out for a couple hours and be at one with the water like this. There's not really much that beats it, is there? It's not really much that beats it. Will it go over? I don't know. We've got a big worm on the right one, and we've got a big squid bait on the left one. Targeting pretty much anything now, from the dogfish to a bass to a hound to whatever, that, you know, anything will do. I've never been stripped like I have been today here before, you know. The crabs don't normally touch you. You know, if the fish aren't biting, you pull the baits in, absolutely fine. But they're just being stripped. But anyway, I'm going to cut this camera off if you don't see me again. That is it. And thanks for watching anyway. My chip shouldn't be far away now. Starving. I swear these waders are getting small. Every time I put them on, they seem to be shrinking a little bit. A bit snug. Anyway, I ain't going to bore you and waste your time anymore. I'll only bring you back if there's a fish. If not, I'll see you in the next one. I'm on the Menai tomorrow, so there will definitely be fish in the next one. The Menai always produces the goods. You never know. I'm going to sit on that. I'm not going to sit on there. I'm going to sit somewhere by it for 10 minutes. We'll have a slow pack up of the other stuff. See if something will happen. You just never know, dear. But if not, I'll see you again sometime soon. Bye.